Hey there and welcome. If you run a business, I'm willing to bet you've asked yourself this. How much do Instagram ads really cost? And more importantly, how do you spend money to actually make money instead of just, well, burning it? So let's unlock that for you right now.
It really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You see all these success stories, you know your customers are on there scrolling away, but that price tag is a total mystery. Are we talking coffee money or car money? Let's figure it out.
And yeah, here's where it gets kind of confusing. I mean, the answer could be anything from $1 a day for a simple test, all the way up to $2,500 a month, or even more for a business that's really scaling up. And that massive range, that's exactly why so many people just get overwhelmed and give up. But trust me, there's a really simple reason for it. Okay, so here's the absolute key to understanding all of this. Instagram doesn't have like a menu with prices. Instead, every single time someone scrolls their feed, a lightning fast auction happens, and you're bidding against a ton of other businesses for that one person's attention. So what you end up paying, it all comes down to how well you play that auction game. But here's the good news. That auction, it's not just a game of chance. Not at all. You actually have a ton of control over the price you pay. It really just boils down to 4 key things that you can manage to win the best spot for the best price.
All right, let's break them down. So we're talking about what's the goal of your ad, who are you trying to reach, how good is your ad really, and where is it going to show up? You get these 4 things right, and believe me, you are already way ahead of the pack.
Okay, first up, your objective. Think of this as the biggest, most powerful lever you can pull when it comes to cost. Are you just trying to get eyeballs on your brand? Well, a brand awareness campaign is going to be way cheaper. But if you want an actual sale, what we call a conversion, you're asking Instagram's powerful algorithm to do some serious heavy lifting to find people who are ready to buy. That's a much more valuable click, right? So yeah, it costs more, but that's exactly what you want if your goal is to make money. All right, next up, your audience and the competition. Think about it. Are you targeting a super popular group like people interested in luxury goods? Or are you trying to advertise during a crazy busy time like Black Friday? Well, you're jumping into a very crowded auction and prices are going to be higher. Simple as that. But, and this is the brilliant part, this is the real secret sauce. Instagram literally rewards you for having good ads. It's all about something called your quality score. A creative, super engaging post that people genuinely like, it's going to get a better price in that auction. So yeah, quality can literally save you money. Okay, theory is great and all, but let's see how this stuff actually plays out in the real world, right? I'm going to walk you through 2 totally different businesses that use these exact principles to get some amazing results, all without a massive budget. Okay, first up, let's talk about a local baker. So they run this awesome gourmet cupcake shop, and they had one very specific goal: get local folks to pre-order their special holiday dessert boxes online. Now, just look at how laser-focused their strategy was. The budget? Super lean, just $15 a day. They're targeting? Hyper-local. We're talking only people within a tiny 5-mile radius of the shop. And the ad? Oh, it was perfect. A totally mouth-watering video of a dessert box being put together, running specifically on Instagram Reels. You know, where that kind of short, satisfying visual stuff just crushes it. And the results of all this? From a total ad spend of just $450 for the whole month, they brought in over $2,900 in pre-orders. I mean, this is a perfect example of how a small budget, when you combine it with super tight targeting and killer creative, can deliver an absolutely massive return. All right, awesome. Let's jump to our second case study and see how we can build on that. This time, we're looking at an online store. They sell high-end, sustainable hiking gear. And their goal was a little different. They wanted direct, straight-up online sales for a brand new premium backpack they were launching. So their approach was a bit more advanced, a little more sophisticated. They had a daily budget of $30. But here's the clever part. They split it in 2. So half of that money went to what we call retargeting. That means showing ads to people who'd already been to their website, a warm audience. And the other half? That went to prospecting, basically finding brand new customers, a cold audience that had never even heard of them before. And this is where they found something really, really interesting. Turns out, reaching those past website visitors, that warm audience, actually had a higher cost per click. So it was more expensive to get them to click. But, and this is the absolute key takeaway here, those people were so much more likely to actually buy something that it ended up being the most profitable part of their entire campaign.
This just goes to show you a super important point. Sometimes paying a little bit more for the right click is 100% worth it. Okay, so let's just put these two side by side for a second. You had the local baker who focused on a super low cost per click for local awareness, and they got this incredible immediate return on their money. Then you have the e-commerce brand. They focused on a profitable cost per acquisition, even with a higher CPC, and what they did was build a sales model that they could then scale up over time. See? Two totally different goals, two totally different but equally smart strategies. Seeing what's actually possible is pretty inspiring, right? And if you're feeling ready to move from just being inspired to actually taking action, you can find expert help and a ton of resources over at mbi.com. Okay, with that said, let's talk about how you can get started with this yourself. All right, so you've seen the theory, you've seen the proof. So how do you actually get started without all the guesswork and, just hoping for the best? Well, we've got a super simple 4-step plan that's going to help you launch your very first test campaign safely and effectively. First things first, start small. I can't stress this enough. Seriously, just $5 to $10 a day, run it for a week. That's all you need to start gathering some really valuable data. Second, and this is absolutely critical, you have to know your numbers. We're going to dig into this in just a sec, but you need to figure out your maximum cost per acquisition or your max CPA. Third, please do not try to reinvent the wheel. Go look at your feed, find your best performing organic post, the one people already love, and just put your ad budget behind that one. And finally, after that week is up, just look at the results. Cut what isn't working and put more gas on what is. It's that simple. So I mentioned that max CPA thing, right? Well, this concept is so important, it deserves its own moment in the spotlight. Your cost per acquisition, or CPA, it's basically your campaign's North Star. It's the one number that guides everything. It tells you, plain and simple, if your ads are actually making you money or losing you money. So before you spend a single penny, you have got to know the absolute maximum amount of money you can afford to spend to get one new customer and still be profitable. Okay, so as we start to wrap things up here, let's just boil all of this down to one single core idea. Because success with Instagram ads, it's not about having the biggest budget, not even close. It's about having the sharpest strategy. And that is the key takeaway I want you to walk away with. You really don't have to outspend your competition if you can just outthink them. By being smart about your objective, your audience, and your creative, you can make a small budget punch way, way above its weight. And that, my friends, is how you start spending smarter. So if you're ready to go from theory to action, and you want a strategy that's tailored specifically for your business, you can get a personalized consultation by visiting us at mabeldeal.com right now.